Welcome to the Sauce Pod.
Welcome back to the Sauce Pod, you guys. It's been another crazy week in the social verse, in the AI space, and all things creative tech and entrepreneur platform news. We've got it all here today for you on the Sauce Pod. So, lots of secret sauce to dish out this week, from what's happening over on BlueSky to Twitter's blue checkmark saga to verified accounts now being prioritized. That's going to be a thing, or if it hasn't been already, Anna's going to tell us. We've got some updates on Meta. We have, of course, some Instagram updates within that as well. Reddit creeping into Discord territory. TikTok is preparing to launch some AI avatars, which I'm actually super excited for. Got some Snapchat news, and then a couple other little AI things that we'll talk about as well. But before we jump into it, I just wanted to say I'm Taylor. The host and co-host here is Anna. She also writes our amazing newsletter every week, helps edit stuff, and is just an all-around phenomenal creator and content marketer. So thank you guys for listening, tuning in wherever you can stream your podcasts or checking us out on YouTube. We appreciate the subscribes. We're also on Substack. That is where you can get the weekly newsletter. And lately we've been publishing a ton more content every week as well. So in addition to our weekly newsletter, you can get some access to posts and things that we're diving deeper into. Last week, our very own John Briggs, founder of Food Fight Studios, co-founder of The Sauce, he launched a new creative series on specifically creative tech tools. So it's a new editorial series that dives into all of this futuristic creative tech, simplified so that anyone can understand it. Last week's first edition went out, and he kind of just boiled down some really basic concepts like, what is the metaverse? What is Web3? How does Discord work? And comparing it, drawing some parallels to past technology, which, if we're paying attention to anything that happened over the last few decades, we know that history repeats itself in different ways. And technology and the way that it uses basic fundamental principles of marketing hasn't changed, nor has community really. So definitely check that out. It's being published on Substack. Another one's coming out this week. And in other creative news, well, in just other exciting news overall, I should add, we've been working on quite a few different course and product offerings. Something that we're really excited to roll out now is, if you guys remember that 12-week cohort that we did a couple weeks back, Anna, if you remember it too, it was an awesome journey through all things creator, entrepreneur, small business founder, personal branding, everything that goes into being a creator and doing it successfully and creating content that has an impact, building a community and growing your brand. So we talked about everything. Every week was a different workshop. We featured tons of experts and subject matter thought leaders, as well as business owners, people who've done it themselves, and got to learn a lot of lessons, kind of take a look behind the curtain to gather all of those insights. And what we did is put it all together in a really nice, neat bundle. So you have all the video content from the workshops, the sessions, some interviews, all of the Twitter Spaces audio, as well as a bunch of downloadable resources as well. There's a persona framework, some branding templates, there's ChatGPT prompts, our master list, as well as a couple other really cool things. So that's now available. If you're on Substack, you can check this week's newsletter, and we covered it there. So other things to note, if you want this bundle, you can get it right now. It's up on the website. It's up on our bios on Twitter. It's linked in the Sauce newsletter as well. So go check out the last edition of the Sauce newsletter and you'll find it there. And yeah, we're going to keep it up for a while. And anyone who, wants access can do that through there. You also get access to our community Discord server and a couple other little perks as part of it. So that is the product news this week, you guys. Just wanted to say, stay tuned. We have a lot more coming. We're working on a few more courses we're dripping out. My design course for non-designers is launching very, very soon.
I can't wait to check that one out.
I know, I'm so excited too. It's been a labor of love, but it's been very fun. So, without further ado, let's talk about everything that happened over the last week, and yeah, we'll get into it. So let's see, what do we have up first today? Oh, I want to talk about BlueSky.
Yeah.
So as we know, We mentioned Blue Sky last week that it's still invite only, you guys.
I tried to get on it and I can't.
Me too.
I even Googled like invites.
Dude, me too. And they have such an enviable product strategy with how they're rolling this out too. It's like taking a page from Clubhouse's book and kind of
Mhm.
like mixing it into, the market share of all of these like disgruntled Twitter users, capturing their
Mhm.
attention, capturing the attention of like tech enthusiasts and creatives like us who like just want to get our hands on anything new and cool. Suffice it to say, I have also been waitlisted, but I'm waiting for that fucking invite. So if anyone out there has an extra one to give away, I know they're very coveted right now. So hit us up. We will treat you well for it.
Yeah.
But Blue Sky, which is Jack Dorsey, who is the founder of Twitter, if you recall, he's the founder of Twitter who exited Twitter just a few years ago. When he finally left Twitter, he kind of like just did his thing, did like the speaking circuit and stuff like that. And then like last year, he announced that he was going to be rolling out this concept of a social platform, which is called Blue Sky. And it's like this decentralized text based social networking platform. Very much like Twitter, except that it's built on a similar framework to what like Mastodon is, which is this sort of
Mhm.
like decentralized server onboarding experience. It can be kind of confusing and cumbersome. So a lot of creators just sort of toss it to the side for that reason. But Blue Sky seems to be doing it right because over the weekend, it surged past its first 50,000 users, which like is a small number, but considering it's only been available for like a week
Yeah.
because we were just reporting on it last week. They opened up
Yeah.
their waitlisting. So just over the weekend, it already flew past 50,000 users. It is still invitation only, and anyone who's joining based on invitation is considered like a beta user. Yeah, so far, nothing but really like pretty positive, quirky things that I've heard about it. I've been keeping a close pulse on this. We know that it's very user friendly, unlike Mastodon, which was
Mhm.
the promised one, the chosen one after Twitter
Yeah.
eruption. And then everyone was just kind of like, okay, what happened to Mastodon?
Yeah.
So we know the Blue Sky is user friendly. We know that it has some cool like unique features. We know that it has this sort of like fun chaotic atmosphere that feels very reminiscent of like the early days of Twitter or the early days of a lot of these social platforms we've watched sort of grow and unfold over the last decade. So it definitely has that little buzz and vibe about it. But some of the other highlights are obviously there's the user growth. There's some pretty high profile migrations that are happening where there's some influential people. I think Representative Alexandria Ocasio Cortez and at Drill are both moving to Blue Sky. There's this thing right now called health threads, which I find sort of funny. Like
Like, yeah.
it's just like it's so internet culture. Like that's the only way I can describe it. What a health thread is. But basically there's this like bug that if you're creating or adding on to a thread which functions much similar to how threads on Twitter function, but on Blue Sky if you're adding to a thread and it gets like way too long, it creates this like sort of endless notification loop like where you can't see other parts of the thread but you can see random like replies from my understanding. And it just kind of led to this like chaotic but like playful banter and exchange of real-time ideas among the internet users who are on Blue Sky. So like people were playing tic-tac-toe in these health threads. Some people were
Oh
showing they were
gosh.
showing picture photos of their asses, like they were just like mooning and like posting photos. And then even Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was like commented, she's like, I could tell there's no filters on these, you guys. So it was just kind of like this like weird sort of vibe and environment and like early scene of an internet app where everyone's just sort of in it together and having a good time and just like rolling with the punches. Of course that will evolve as more and more people get on the platform and sort of like communities start to form. But right
Mhm.
now, it's just like it's early days. People are having a great time. They're calling the feed the skyline,
I heard that. I love that.
the
I love
skyline,
that so
and then
much.
skeets. Skeets are the tweets of Blue Sky. So you're not tweeting, you're tweeting. I don't know how
I don't think
people
I
get
like
so
that
pumped
one.
about that one, but I hope that Blue Sky reclaims the skeet because Pete never deserved that to begin with.
No.
Oh man. Yeah, there's a what's hot tab, kind of like a for you page or like a discover page or something that kind of just showcases the hot chatter that's happening on Blue
Mhm.
Sky. If you can't tell, I'm jealous of people who are already on it. I really want to get into it. I'm excited to. So hit us up.
We're
We'll
waiting.
partner with you. Let us know what you want.
Blue Sky wouldn't even let me join the wait list. I couldn't even it
Really?
kept telling me there was something wrong with my internet, which there wasn't because I was on the website.
That's
So,
so disheartening. Did you do
um,
it from your phone or did you do it from the website?
on my computer.
Well, I did it on my phone and it let me join, so
Maybe I
maybe
need to
there's something there. Okay, so we talked about Blue Sky, which is like a much happier alternative, but let's get
Mhm.
into the Twitter saga of the blue check mark.
The Twitter drama.
Lot to unpack with this one, so take it away, Anna.
Well, this one was kind of like a, I don't know, almost a deep dive on the blue check mark because, on April 20th, they took away the legacy blue check mark. So, you got to pay for
Mhm.
it. And then it was almost like this check mark became, I don't know, part of Elon's plan to troll people. Because
Right?
there's dead celebrities that have, it's on their profile that they've paid for this check mark. And, obviously they are no longer with us, but they still have this check mark. It's a little weird. And
Mhm.
then people like Beyonce got their check marks back for free.
Okay.
BBC News got its gold badge without paying. Chrissy Teigen, is making a little bit of a drama about it. She's I
She's
guess
like, "They're giving them for punishment now."
like I don't know if Elon's doing this on purpose and he's just like, let me troll people. Like,
Yeah.
look at these poor people that are no longer with us that have blue check marks. Haha, it's so funny. I don't know what he's doing, but there's just chaos over there. I don't know if maybe it was a glitch and maybe those people's check marks didn't get taken away at the right time and they're just still and their profiles still have
It's
them.
chaos. Well, yeah, because if you guys remember too, like 2 weeks ago was like the cutoff date for the legacy checkmarks being purged, where he was like,
Mhm.
by the way, if you are like grandfathered in and you have an old school blue verification, going forward, you will not have that anymore unless you pay for it. No exceptions, point
Yeah,
blank. And then like Barbara Walters and Anthony Bourdain show up with their fucking blue check marks, like
it just makes sense. There are some celebrities paying
Um,
for it,
yes.
like Taylor Swift and Rihanna and Miley Cyrus, The Weeknd,
Mhm,
Ryan
mhm.
Reynolds, Chris Hemsworth, Jimmy Fallon, even one of the Kardashians, Chloe, decided to pay for it.
Oh my god. This
So
is
there are
probably just their
people paying for
PR
it, but
people being like, "Okay,
there
we
you
need
go.
all we can get. Let's do
Yeah.
it." And for people who don't have blue check marks, by the way, your prioritization is no
I
longer.
was just gonna
So
say
tell us
that.
about that because that's the downside for me that I'm struggling with these days.
Yeah, so Elon tweeted out April 25th that verified accounts are now prioritized, which we've talked about this, that in the past Elon has said this, and now it's almost like he's finally confirming it. So he's kind of like, forcing people into submission, or, we
Yeah,
could say gently persuading people to get the check mark. That's all that was said on it, though,
yeah.
specifically from his account. Twitter verified accounts are now prioritized, and of course we can't go email the press because they're just going to respond with a poop emoji. So
Yeah, and we tried it. Doesn't work.
yeah,
That's all you
it's
get.
it's a poop emoji immediately. It's like within seconds, poop emoji.
Twitter is a black box, man. I know that they talked about this. Musk talked about this when he talked about Twitter 2.0 and like all of the blue verification lords and peasants system and da 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 da. Pay the $8 and like all
Hmm.
that. And part of the appeal or one of his selling points for this was like, oh, blue. If you're verified, aka you have the blue check mark, you will be prioritized in the timeline and in replies and in DMs
Hmm.
and in other things probably. And it wasn't a thing, I guess, until literally just this week now. It's been made
Hmm.
official. And I will say that I can personally, from my personal experience, I'm pretty active on Twitter. I feel like my reach is just like totally tanked to the point where I am starting to give up on Twitter, you guys. Like
That
legitimately,
sucks.
it's so
Yeah.
sad. So I think maybe that's part of my why I'm so excited to get access to BlueSky to see if that's a worthy alternative. But one of the things that
Mhm.
we've been doing with the sauce is playing around with notes. And, Anna, like,
Mhm.
obviously we talked about this in a couple of the past episodes as well, with like what Substack is doing with notes. Substack is really, you guys, making a massive play to benefit and to support and enable creators and writers and authors on Substack. So they're like releasing all these new ways to like connect with like communities and have a stronger newsletter and have people find you. One of the things they rolled
Mhm.
out are Substack notes. And it functions very similarly to how Twitter does. And it's part of the reason why Twitter basically said fuck off to Substack and just like doesn't let them on their platform anymore.
You can't link.
You can't link, yes.
You're not allowed to.
So if you are looking for like another alternative and you don't have BlueSky access, I highly suggest checking out Substack notes. Somebody actually wrote a Substack note this week and said something along the lines of, if all Substack notes becomes is like highbrow intelligent conversations between creators and writers, like, I'm good with that. I'm good if it ends there. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to be the hellscape of, of Twitter, although I'm sure it could turn into that. But anyways, all of which is to say, this whole situation about verified accounts getting priority and literally everyone else who doesn't subscribe to that just getting absolutely dragged over the coals, it's definitely making other platforms feel more and more appealing. If his plan was to get us to pay at this point, I like what nothing more than to never pay. Like,
Not pay.
my
Yeah.
my rage of like, I will never give a cent to Twitter again because of all of the wrongs that they have done, that like this just fueled that fire.
Right. Well, it's so frustrating, especially for you, to have built your audience organically,
Mhm.
built a following, and then the second that Elon is like, "Oh yeah, no, I need money. Twitter is drowning, so we're gonna make everybody pay, and if they don't pay, the tweets aren't gonna show up in people's timelines." That's just
Yeah.
you're not playing to your audience. You're not supporting creators. It is literally the people that are on Twitter.
Yes.
It's dumb.
It's just chaotic, and like they don't even allow people to advertise now on Twitter unless you have a business account,
Unless you're
which
paying
is like, who's gonna pay some small creator?
$900 million.
Yeah, who's
Yeah.
gonna pay fucking $1,000 a month to like pay then for a $50 a month ad campaign because that's all the spend or budget that they have left over? Like,
Mhm.
what?
You're gonna take your money elsewhere. People
Yeah,
are that's just what
exactly.
you're gonna
That's
do.
what's gonna happen. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that is what's happening. And I think
Yeah.
it's probably just gonna be a continued slow sort of like, what did he call the Starship explosion? A involuntary separation.
Oh.
When his rocket exploded a couple weeks ago, it's like it experienced an involuntary separation. So I think what we're gonna see from Twitter what we're going to see
Gosh.
from Twitter from here on out is just going to be like involuntary separations until it's just kind of crumbled, and then it becomes, they're going to rebuild it from the floor up, something entirely new. We know this, that app X, whatever it was that he was saying, the everything app. You know what I'm
Mhm.
talking about.
Yes. Super app, yeah.
Well, in contrast to that whole mess happening over there, tell us about Meta's potential Twitter competitor app codenamed
Barcelona.
Barcelona. Barcelona. What are the updates?
Yeah, so we've mentioned it a couple times before, but of course we're keeping you guys in the loop. So it's aimed
Mhm.
at taking over Twitter's domain. And it's basically, or I guess kind of the setup is Instagram, but without, any pictures, without the images. It's
Mhm.
supposed to be more obviously like a competitor to Twitter. So you actually
Mhm.
need an Instagram account to join the app. And then there's only a 500 character limit for your post wordage. They also promise that it's going to be decentralized, although they haven't released all of those details yet. But you have to have an account on Instagram. That'll basically be your login
Mhm.
onto the app.
Interesting. And you included some screenshots too in this week's newsletter of
Yes.
it from Alessandro Polizzi, who spotted it. And so you can actually see what it looks like. And when you say that it looks like Instagram just without the images,
Hmm.
guys, it literally looks like Instagram, but like text in place of where an image should be. It's super weird. So
Yeah.
you should definitely check it out. I'm kind of excited for it. Who knows if it'll actually launch this year? I hope it would. That would be pretty
I
cool.
think so. In his screenshot, it says launching the 1st of January. Your username will be reserved for you. It's like
Oh, so it's like
introducing
a wait
Instagram for
list.
your thoughts. Yeah. I don't know
Gotcha.
if like this, screenshot is
Mm.
100% correct, but
Mhm, mhm. Okay, well, I'm here for it. Between Barcelona and Blue Sky, we've got some
got some
worthy
options.
alternatives.
Yeah.
I never thought I would say that about a Meta-owned property, but here we are
Yeah.
in 2023,
Uh-oh.
guys. That's when you know it's going down.
Mhm.
So, speaking of Meta, tell us about Instagram's latest TikTok rip.
Yeah. Here we go. So they're testing a new feature. It's not live yet, but they're testing a feature that will allow you to add songs to photo carousels.
Mm,
So the reason why I'm saying this feels a bit like a TikTok copycat is because what is it? TikTok's photo mode, I think is what it's called.
those little
You can play
slideshows.
music and you like kind of swipe. That's very much what this feels like. Instagram already has like a feature where
Mhm,
if you have a single image, you can add music to that,
mhm.
but they don't have it for the carousel yet. So they are adding that in. So you can listen to
Awesome.
the song a little longer while you swipe through those photos, I guess. But yeah, it's very, very similar to what we already see on TikTok.
Those are fun. I always like those on TikTok. I mean, when I like come into a really good one, the transformation ones, so
Yeah.
much fun. So we'll see how those ones do over on Instagram. So is it technically like it's not a reel, right? Like
Mm-mm.
it's not like full
Yeah, so
screen
it's
vertical, but it's just
right,
for
it
your
would still
photo
just be the
carousel.
yeah, it still would be the carousel. And then there are also notes, the we've talked about it before,
Hmm.
but it's in like in your DM box, but at the top, like the circle, the profile pictures, and you can add like a little thought. People can
Hmm.
respond to it. So you'll also be able to add music to your notes.
Oh, cute.
So your friends will be able to see like the name of the song and the
Hmm.
artist. You can put, music on your status. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, that's cute. So it's kind of like adding music to your story when you can like have your little like what you're
Yeah,
listening to, but then also
right.
like it makes me think about Discord, which I want to talk about here in a second, but like I have my Discord connected to my Spotify and it always shows like what I'm listening to as my status. And
Sometimes I'm like, why are you listening to Baby Shark?
I know why Coco Melon again.
Yeah.
My own personal punishment between Coco Melon and the blue check mark. I don't know which is which. So it kind of gives me like that vibe. I think that people are
Mhm.
going to have fun with that. I like it. And I've
Yeah,
been seeing more and more notes pop up as well.
I like the notes.
I do too. Have you used them personally?
I have on a company page. I have on my company's page, but not on my personal. I don't know what I would say.
Can you see who views them?
No, just who, obviously responds to them and slides into your DMs.
I got you. Well, on this note of Discord, tell us about how Reddit is apparently kind of creeping into, Discord and Telegram
Yeah.
territory with its latest new feature, which I'm very excited for.
Yeah, so they're introducing chat channels, which
Mhm.
has already there's like 25 like volunteer subreddits that are already using it. So it's similar, like you said, to Discord and Telegram, where it's, just like real-time conversation
Mhm.
amongst the subreddit members. So
Mhm.
there's already something called live chat, but that's basically where you're chatting within a post on Reddit. So those chat channels are meant to be like dedicated spaces within your favorite subreddit, or
Mhm.
sorry, this will be like that. So it'll actually be like a channel like Discord or Telegram.
I think that's going to be cool. I mean, it's kind of like a built it's just like built directly into Reddit so that you don't have
Yeah.
to go to a Discord server. I'm really curious because I am an avid Redditor, but also I
Mhm.
use Discord daily. So
Mhm.
I'm curious about how like if this is going to shake things up because a lot of subreddit communities will put their Discord link and that's like they drive people to their Discord. So I wonder if that's going to shift that and then also if Discord's going to try to do anything. All of these like little they're all competing right now. We should do a
I know.
TikTok one of these days of like all these apps just sitting in a room yelling at each other because I would love to
Yes.
see that. Let us know, guys.
That's what it
What do you
is.
want to see? The
Yeah.
Kardashians as social media apps. We got
Yeah.
this.
We need to do that. That would be fun.
That would
Yes.
be so fun. All right. So, Reddit, we're keeping an eye on you. We see you.
Mhm.
Everyone's into this live chat. Everyone's into community and being able to have some conversations that take place outside of the more like traditional guardrails of like a post or a tweet or a LinkedIn
Yeah.
post or a Facebook. What do they even call them now? Writing on Facebook, a post on Facebook. Cool to see more and more of these platforms leaning into, what we all
Mhm.
want as people, as community. So let's talk TikTok then, because these AI avatars, like, I'm here for it, dude. I'm so here for it. And I think
Really?
this is going to be, yeah, I am here for it because I think that
Okay.
this is going to be what tips the scale in favor of more and more people in everyday world who are maybe oblivious to AI or
Mm.
otherwise, just like onboarding them in a really easy way to see how this
Mhm.
works. And if you could do it all within the app without having to like leave the
How
app.
to download a new app.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us what's
Yeah.
happening with these AI
So
generated photos.
if you remember the Linza app, which is very popular for a short period of time, where you upload like 3 to 10 images of like a selfie of yourself or just pictures of yourself. And then this AI generated app spit out like different avatars that are AI generated. So that's basically what TikTok is doing within its app. You're basically creating like different looks of
Mhm.
yourself with AI technology. And then you'll be able to like post them to your TikTok story, or
Mhm.
I think you can also like add this into your profile picture, but I don't know, it's cool. A lot of people are definitely going to be using the tool to
Yeah.
create avatars of themselves, even if it's just for fun and you don't decide to, share it with everyone. But
Yeah,
this
I
is a
think that's
a
it.
cool update.
I think it also makes people feel more comfortable, like, showing their faces as well, people who otherwise prefer to be, like, anonymous or, like, have a low profile or whatever. Like, if
Right.
you get a cool, like, badass image that actually looks
Mhm.
like something that you would be proud to have as your avatar, like, why the hell not? And I know that TikTok has done a lot of lenses or effects for, like, AI type of stuff where they have, like, the one where like people turn
Gold
sideways,
rim.
and it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
the yeah.
Yeah.
Or like what is your AI, whatever. So this is probably going to build on that even further and just make it more available to use as your like profile picture. It'll be cool. Tell us about this rundown of apps that you included in this week's newsletter about like the next big app is here, right? We always say there's like
Right.
this could be the one until it isn't, and that's because there's so many that just pop up dime a dozen all day every day. You don't know which ones are going to make it, which ones aren't. And sometimes you guys we don't even know what's worth reporting on as we're going through the details because there's so many of these little stories that
So
come up
many.
that's like which one could just be the golden ticket? So give us the rundown here.
Yeah, no, a lot of these are cool. I haven't checked all of them out for myself, but some of them I want to. So there's this one called No Cam,
Mhm.
where you friends will like exchange challenge, but nobody can
Mhm.
see how you look while filming. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah.
It's like candid video challenges from your friends. I don't know enough about it.
That sounds fun.
It looks fun. So I need to download this one and check
Mhm.
it out.
Mhm.
And then there's Kiwi, which is basically Be Real for Music. So it's like
Mhm.
randomly prompts users to share their most recently played song. And then there's Wavelength, which is like a group chat facilitator where it's, similar to like Discord,
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
seamlessly like brings all your friends together.
Okay.
And then there's Minus, which this one's weird. This one, you only have 100 posts ever on your entire account. So it's like making social media like finite, maybe.
Like more meaningful.
Yeah, it's this very minimalistic app. Yeah, you only have 100 posts in your lifetime. So,
I'm gonna look into this one. It's called Minus, you guys.
mhm.
Checking it out. That's awesome. I'm totally signing up today. Okay, well, thank you for giving us that quick rundown. Let's talk about some of the AI stuff that's been going on in the world as if there haven't already been like 20 updates since we sent out this newsletter. It's crazy. So much new
Yeah.
stuff is happening. There's been a study done that AI makes you officially more productive at work. So,
Uh-huh.
what's that about?
We already knew this one,
Yeah.
obviously, or at least
Yeah.
I did, because ChatGPT is my best friend at my
Mhm.
desk. So this
Mhm.
is like the first study of AI in the workplace. It's concluded after more than a year of studying and data gathering. But
Mhm.
basically, it says using AI tools can significantly boost employee productivity and save managers dozens of hours each week. I guess customer service agents at a certain Fortune 500 company got their work done 14% faster with the help of AI tools. And new hires who use AI rivaled workers that already had more than 6 months of experience. So, on your
Amazing.
next job application, put ChatGPT as one of the tools you are
Hell
proficient
yeah.
in. Yeah.
And I mean, one of the things that I was talking to John about this week is like how we talk about these tools all the time because that's kind of our life and we're using them constantly. But
Mhm.
there is such a broad swath of people who have no idea what ChatGPT is, how it works. They've maybe heard it in the headlines. But you
Yeah.
guys, it's truly like revolutionary technology. I won't wax too poetic about it, but just keep that in mind when you're using it. If you get into it now and you start playing around with it, even if you don't use it every day, you'll start to find that like you're already kind of ahead of the curve when so much of the human race will still have to be catching up in the years to come as so much of our technology and the way that we work kind of transitions in favor of AI driven tools. So just keep that in mind, even if you're not super familiar with it, you don't plan to use it every day. It's always good to like jump in and poke around in these tools and see what they're about because
Yeah.
they truly are life changers, but also bad actors get their hands on this shit too. So we got to be careful. We have to
Yep.
be cautious. We have to be always looking out, doing our research, making sure that you have like safe words with your family because give us the tea on what's been happening and why AI is kind of opening the floodgates to like spam and scamming and fraud and that kind of stuff.
So, spammers are just better equipped now to get their messages in front of people because of generative AI. I mean, bad people tend to find a way to use it for bad. So, spam filters will need to be remade because AI is going to, be able to more aggressively get around those and evade those. So,
Oh, I
we're going to
know.
have to rethink the spam filters. And then I definitely think AI will help scammers better target individuals, like making
Mhm.
it easy to tap into people's personal data on social media. And then, of course, you can use ChatGPT to up your persuasion skills if you don't actually speak English, because we've all got those texts that don't make sense. It's just like a little reminder to stay safe.
Yes. And when I tell you that my feeds, like I'm scrolling on Reddit or I'm scrolling on Facebook and I see the comment, you know the comment. You're like, I know what you know. I know
I know
that you did this comment in ChatGPT. I know you know. We
Yeah.
both know. Like you can see all the telltale signs and it's so funny cuz somebody commented and didn't even remove the disclaimer part where it's like
As an AI. Yeah.
yeah, I cannot give you so it's just it's crazy and because of the ease of access for people who are using it now, it's like you go into your emails, you're getting cold sales pitches left and right and like some of
Mhm,
it seems legit, a lot of it you're like this was probably made in AI. Same thing with
mhm.
social media all over the place, but it's also like it's a breeding ground for like fraud and actual scamming as well. Did you hear of these, scammers, bad actors calling up family members, demanding like ransom payments or like money payments and using a clone of their family member's voice to like, try to initiate the exchange?
Oh, I think my mom did tell me about that.
Yeah, it's insane. And they're happening all the
That's
time. Like
scary.
I was Googling it earlier this week to try to figure out what was the latest. And I'm like, there's like news stories every week of people doing this. And we tested out this tool called 11 Labs, which is free for the first like so many credits. You can play around on it. But essentially
Mhm.
you can train the AI to replicate and to clone a voice with like near perfect accuracy. It's insane. I have to show you guys at some point a clip because the one that it makes of me sounds so legitimately similar. Like it's scary. It sounds like I said it. And anyone can do this with just enough clips. So imagine, you're like a mother or a sister or a cousin or whatever, and like they have enough content online that somebody can take it, train an AI voice, pretend to call, the other person in the family demanding like payout or whatever it is, and it's just like it's dangerous. So my mom and I were just talking about this story, and we're like, okay, we need a safe word now.
Yeah.
So
Mom.
seriously, guys, the technology, the scamming is getting sophisticated with this technology, and it's something overall to just keep an eye out, be cautious, don't be listening or hearing or giving into everything that you hear in a phone call or on an email, because that shit
Yeah.
is so easy to make these days. It's wild.
Yeah.
But I digress. Talking about bad, like kind of negative AI experiences, though, Snapchat is going through it right now. And I like cackled reading this
Yeah.
because now people do not like my AI, you guys.
They
People
really
do not. They
don't.
don't like. Remember last week we spoke about it, and I was like, I don't know, I'm seeing some creepy things about my AI
Mhm,
on TikTok,
mhm.
and we were like, yeah, this is what happened. So
This is it.
give it, give it to
Yeah,
us.
I like this little intro. Snapchat's latest update, which is my AI, brings around the kind of reviews for the app that you would expect from a restaurant that just served food poisoning as a special of the day. So, if you're not familiar, the My AI is a ChatGPT powered bot on the Snapchat app, and they recently released it to all of their active users.
Mhm.
So when they released it, they just got a flood of 1-star app store reviews, which took their like weekly average rating to a 1.67, which is not very good. As users, like, we're trying to get to know the feature, it was definitely kind of creeping people out. So Snapchat has your location, they do, but you can turn on the little ghost mode and you feel a little safer. Well, this AI chatbot is just like letting you know that it's tracking you at all times, which is
Yeah.
just a little creepy. Like we know it in the back of our minds, but we don't actually want to know it. So
Yeah.
there was this one chat screenshot that I saw where the someone was asking it like, "Oh, you don't know my location, right?" And the bot is like, "Oh no, like as an I don't know where you are." And then they're like, "Oh, but can you recommend like a restaurant nearby?" And it was me like, "Due to your location, blah blah blah, like go check out these restaurants." So that's definitely unsettling that it lies to your face.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it sticks to the top of your Snapchat like chat homepage
Mhm.
unless you pay the $4 a month for Snapchat Plus. So, yeah, you can't hide it. It sits there.
So it's just there and it's like taunting people.
Yeah, like talk to it now.
It's like an episode of like the Twilight Zone or some shit. Like it just won't go away and it's very intrusive and it
Right.
wants to know everything and it knows everything but it pretends not to. It's just like
Exactly.
okay. And it is the same, it's like a GPT powered chatbot, right? I think it uses like
Mhm,
GPT 3 or
mhm.
3.5. So the same thing OpenAI uses for ChatGPT.
They definitely have a lot more safety features on it because you're not able to ask it like,
Any risque questions.
this is so bad, but one of my friends was like, "Send nudes." Like, as an AI chatbot, that is
Can't
inappropriate.
do it. I asked ChatGPT once to help me figure out what to do about my lizard husband, my lizard person husband, and it like got really defensive saying that it can't talk about lizard people because it's a controversial subject. So I was like, "Well, why is it so controversial?" And it's like, "I can't talk about lizard people. Like just leave it at that."
Stop.
So now I was like, "Okay, ChatGPT, are you a lizard person? Are the lizard people in the room with us right
Yeah,
now? Like
that's what
what's
it
happening?"
is. Blink twice and you're in trouble.
It's too much, you
Oh
guys. It's too
gosh.
much. This AI shit is so crazy and it's only getting crazier. So, if you're listening to this and you want to keep a pulse on everything and you're not yet subscribed, I highly, highly recommend checking out our newsletter, subscribing. It's free for the weekly edition. It would also make our lives and hearts so happy if you choose to buy a paid subscription as well for $7 a month. You get access to our community, you get special exclusive stuff on our Substack. You get access to all of the archives, which are actually locked to all members except for our paid monthly users after 2 weeks. So lots of good stuff. And we really take pride in boiling down the content in a way that like makes sense not only to us so that Anna and I can explain it to
Yeah.
each other and like laugh about it along the way, but also to everyone it might impact as a business founder, a creator, an entrepreneur, a marketer, without all the fluff, without all the excess jargon that they throw in at the higher level. Like, this is just like the down and dirty. Here's what's happening in AI. This is what you need to know in social. And we cover it all every week. So definitely check it out. You can find us at the sauce ffs substack.com. That's our weekly newsletter. You can also find us on YouTube and anywhere that you stream your podcasts. I know I kind of jumped into the conclusion there, but it just felt like a nice little segue to wrap things up, because the world of AI is a lot. It's confusing. And I mentioned to somebody last week that I think that we're entering the era of the great creator niche down, the niche down, however you say it, niche versus niche, where we know that so much is happening, right? All around us in this AI world. But now we're starting to like find niches within AI tools, because that's the level that it's at, you guys. It's growing so fast and so big that now people are starting to get like kind of categorized into what sort of AI tools do they talk about. So we're just trying to keep a pulse on it all, but we definitely veer towards the creator and content and the marketing side of how we use these tools. So yeah, that's my pitch. Find us online, you guys. Anna, any parting words of wisdom before we sign off today? I feel like we need a good like outro sequence one of these days. We need like a
We
little,
do.
we need a script. Maybe ChatGPT.
We'll ask ChatGPT what to say. Okay, really fast. If you haven't yet, go on to like TikTok or even just Google and Google
Some Tinder dates turn into one-night
Tinder
stands.
ad campaign. So good.
Is it?
It
But
was
some
like
turn into
some
two-night
dates turn
stands.
into one night stand. But some
It starts with a swipe. Tinder.
Oh, yes.
It's so
This was in the
beautiful.
newsletter this week. It's so good, you
Yes.
guys. It's linked, so go find it in this week's edition. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. And Anna, we'll catch back up next week.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye.
Hey guys, that's a wrap for this week's episode of the Sauce Pod. Hope you enjoyed yourself, maybe even learned a thing or two. Don't forget, you can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can also subscribe to our newsletter that goes out every Monday night. All of the latest and greatest tips, news, and trends for content creators and digital entrepreneurs. Until next time, stay saucy.